I think she went to the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so.
Don't think so.
No.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Human backup. Has to keep them subhuman.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I'm seeing some decent human beings turning to something else.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the term is anti-human or the term subhuman is sort of they're both
Yeah.
to use do you know what that means?
Yeah.
On with tears on a daily basis, and it's not just senility. Mentally I'm not senile, as I'm sure you realise. Chambers, particularly. Look, I need to have a serious talk in private without I mean, what wife pinches all her husband's tools, really, and cooks them, and makes a cup of tea in them. What's the sense in? It's not, when I say tools, I mean, I include things like that. That's a tool. I mean, I've had to buy a couple. I mean, your mother uses it, okay, that's all right. But she's I need a, I mean, handy these things. I wonder who would have put on those plastic handles.
Yeah.
I mean, your mother has actually subverted my position as, well, everything, partner, husband, everything else. She's alienated your children. You children are, we're all suffering from PTSD. I suppose I've suffered it all my life.
Yeah.
And it looks like, whether you like it or not, it looks like your life direction too.
Mhm.
People talk about events that change their lives. And, you look at photographs of baby Hitler. I mean, how could that poor little kid have turned into this mass homicidal monster that he did?
Mhm.
Shit. God, what would this go for? $30?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because they're very fashionable. I've got to have a talk with you,
Mhm.
free from interference or even interruption or disruption.
Yeah.
It's because I can't live like this. I'm not living. I mean, I've subjected myself to an untenable position. I mean, because I'm such a wholehearted person.
Mhm.
You've got to. I've got to do something extremely radical.
Mhm.
The last thing I want to do. I'm a home lover. It's in my genes. I'm a tribal person.
Mhm.
I'm a sociable person, which means I'm sociable. I mean, I need other humans. I've separated myself. Are you deliberately trying to stop your foot from trembling because you knew that you registered, you perceived that I was studying it?
No.
The thing is that I mean, I'm just about due for what do they call it? With advanced age, people get to like this.
Mhm.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
So you know how old I am, but it doesn't mean that you have to. Well, I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, a few of the brain exercises, like Bertrand Russell, who was Lord Bertrand Russell. I think he was just a minor lord, but he was a philosopher.
Mhm.
He lived to a great age. And is physically, well, I mean, physically, if you get out of it, if you get out of condition, if you can get out of condition physically or mentally or spiritually, I think.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm in an impossible position. Because I'm such a wholehearted person, the bloody broker. Oh, anyway, look, I won't go into all that. I gave my whole life. I entrusted my whole life to your mother, who's since gone insane or bonkers or, oh dear, she's become an enemy within my own bosom. It has damaged you children irreparably. Well, up to a point, you can, I mean, I know that you're going to say, well, you can always repair, but, you know, you still got scars. I mean, I've got a scar here. And I went down to Singapore the other day and took a few photographs. Made a few calls on interesting people. In 1940, God, 39, 41, my mother split with my father in 1939. I went up to Clare. I was in grade 2 and 3 at Clare Primary School. Now that was a very wonderful initiating experience for me because Miss Elizabeth Noble, who I found out years later that she was a lesbian. Well, as a Roman Catholic, as a few other Roman Catholics I've known her become gay, they call it. There's nothing new in human affairs. I think it can even be a spiritual initiation. If you look at the Theosophical record, they prove to be bloody stupid idiots today. The Theosophists. I like beautiful objects. Your mother, I had some paintings. Christopher's got 2 of my mother's paintings, but just by default, because Katie, Bronte's daughter, had 2 of my mother's paintings that she didn't want. Well, she has no loving memories of my mother, which is tragic, shocking. Because Bronte married a bank manager, and she was one of my guardian angels. Ever since I moved up here, I've had my life ripped apart, really, well, by thieves, and now by the girl that I married, my second wife, your mother. Frederick II, Emperor Frederick II, had So I think he married 3 or 4 times, and he also had a harem. I mean, well, he was the emperor, you see.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think I've still got his book, unless it's been disposed of, which I paid $90 for back in 1989, I think it was. 1987, I bought it from America. It took about 6 months to be delivered here by sea.
Mhm.
Oh dear, I'm raving on. Do you want a life? Do you want to have a life? Can I look at that?
Yeah.
Shit. Oh, God. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even read it.
Mhm.
Oh, shit. What is it like, QTS?
No, just typing practice.
Typing. Oh.
Yeah.
You see how I expect too much. I've always expected too much myself and everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, you're multi-talented, so but you're rotting. I mean,
Mhm.
well, no, you're not. Not totally. Yeah. Oh well. Shit a brick. I mean,
Mm.
do you know what speed? Do you know what parliamentary reporter standard is? Words per minute. Words per minute.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Depends on accuracy.
Yes. Well, but obviously yes. I mean,
Yeah.
well. I mean, the parliamentary reporters have their work checked by supervisors. I mean, so it's all done.
Yeah.
You've got your recorder, typist or typiste.
Mhm.
In the first instance, who did it. And of course the parliamentarians don't worry about the typists, they
Yeah.
worry about getting their bloody speech out and getting their crap recorded.
Yeah.
The last parliamentary standard typist was a not a very nice lady. She went off and married an African tribal king,
Mhm.
and it was never heard of again. But one of her favourite places in the world was Morocco, because apparently that's northwest Africa, which is you never hear anything about it. I think it's ruled by a pretty easygoing sort of sheikh, or Sheik, who lets people more or less do their own thing. It's still pretty medieval. I think he's pretty easygoing.
Mhm.
Just so long as nobody starts a revolution, he's more or less. It's pretty liberal. You never hear anything about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't join in with all the other revolutionary, the bloodthirsty, like bloody Saudi Arabia. That bloody prince is a psychopath.
Yeah.
Well, that's for the rest of the world. Look, I'm raving because I've got to do something radical. I've always had the answers, and your mother has turned into well, I mustn't use the word demon. I think I've coined the word para-human, but para just means alongside, or something that Hitler used the word subhuman. And so if you use the word subhuman, well, you get labelled as a Nazi. So and you come under the suspicion of ASIO and all of this, just because of the language. So, and of course, if you call yourself superhuman, well, they call you a Nazi again.
Yeah.
That language has become a real jungle.
Yep.
In 19, well, 6 years before you were born, 2 years before Freya was born, I made a momentous decision. I gave this place to your mother.
Yep.
50-50. Well, he was not a nice bloke at all, nasty. He drove up here with his wife in his Ferrari, just because I lived on Deviation Road.
Yeah.
He couldn't get away fast enough once he got my signature and Jenny's signature. I was walking him out the car, and he more or less, you know, piss off now.
Yeah.
I've got your signature, I got paid by Bill Rudd. So I gave her virtually in money. She's seen things in money terms. I mean, her brain's been rotted by the packet that she got it from her father. She wouldn't. She only got that because I married her. He more or less he didn't say it straight out, but well, he told me what that he gave me to understand that he'd done a provisional or testamentary will, or he made a testamentary trust. So it only came into being once he was gone. But the 20 million, I don't know what he had, but I got a nice letter from Jenny's brother Tony, who lives in Western Australia now. He married and had a kid with a useless bloody woman who took the kid and pissed off and married some American millionaire. So, but he's probably got another lady now in his life. I mean, he'd only be well, I suppose a couple of years. Your mother's 62 or whatever it is, so he'd be 65 maybe. But I gifted your mother, in monetary terms, a property which would, I suppose, approximately, well, in today's values, I think the valuation is about 500,000, which is $500,000 for this place alone.
Yeah.
Quite aside from the share in the property across the road. Your mother, 12 months ago, was sitting there, and she said, "You're not even mentioned in the trust for property across the road." Well, that's how much she bloody knew.
Yeah.
Because Bill Rudd added me. I'm on top of the list. because I was asked, added,
Mm-hmm.
for courtesy of Bill, because he was paying the lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, and the lawyer only did that, Bill only did that because, well, I don't know how it was done, but it was done.
Yeah.
So that, and your mother didn't even know that I'm the fifth part owner. But Bill arranged for that.
Mm-hmm.
So the lawyer was just following Bill's instruction. But Bill did that to keep me in a position in a strategic position of, if you excuse the word, power.
Mm-hmm.
Those chickies are chasing the butterflies.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's what they do. Because I was faithful, loyal, true, caring to his daughter. Well, which mother has not reciprocated?
Mm-hmm.
Because she stood in the front garden there 4 months ago now. I made a note in my notebook saying to me, now I've got the money, I can put you in your place. What? Me in my place?
Mm.
Money?
Yep.
Well, that's like waving a red flag to a bull.
Mm.
Money. What's money got to do with life? So your mother has become some sort of, demoniac, frankly, in my life. And
Mm-hmm.
she's your mother. Well, despite her hatefulness and the psychopathic attitude and policy towards me, I still care for your mother and you children because I'm a wholehearted person, even though your mother's obviously not.
Mm-hmm.
Those 15 books, I've got one of them, or I did have. God knows what I've got. My ambition was to make some kind of permanent institution. Bill had this ambition. Well, he's fulfilled his ambition because he had the money to do so. I was on the way to having it, but I surrendered it to a demon,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got to deal with the situation. I've got to try to find another word apart from demon, because those bloody psychopaths in Queensland call the police demons. So if you use the word demon, well, you might be one. You might be a radical revolutionary. Well, the revolutionaries are getting organised. But I've got to write a letter to a bloke. I think he's been backed by Trades Hall.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty solid backing.
Yeah.
But so many other people are just losing it. I think they think I'm an ASIO agent.
Mm-hmm.
So because the ASIO agents have infiltrated, and I think they've lowballed me.
Yeah.
Which is just crap. I mean, people insane. People don't know who to trust. You see? Oh dear. Look, I've just raved on. Your mother might have told you that she's made a will, but she hasn't told me.
Mm.
Has she told you that she has or not?
No.
No. Well, but then again, you see, she's been such a bloody rat, really, a traitorous rat.
Yeah.
that she's likely to have sworn you to secrecy and told you that she has and asked you not to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And you would be bounden to her.
Yeah.
You're not sleeping very well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look well.
Uh-huh.
You got bags under your eyes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't trust your mother, and I feel so I can't trust you, or Wink, or Freya. Well, what sort of a bloody family is that?
Yeah.
It is not any sort of family at all. It's unlivable. It's like living in well, well, we are living in wartime,
Mm-hmm.
and the war is right here.
Yeah.
Well, I lived through bloody 6 years of war. I remember what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
1940, well, 1939. I went down to Semaphore. Well, took some photographs down at Semaphore. My mother split from my father in 1939, same year the war started.
Mm-hmm.
He was drunk, alcohol again, you see, the same as your mother. It takes a person, it becomes the predominant spirit,
Yeah.
and it takes away the human spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it does. That's why it's so insidious. It's one of the oldest. It is the oldest drug. I mean, they would have discovered it just by accident.
Yeah.
Because they let the food ferment, and it got added to water, and someone took a sip. It's not too bad. I'll take another sip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So, and I'm in a double bind. I'm in a cul-de-sac, but I can't. I've got nowhere to live. In my 6 years before you were born, I'm trying to tell you so much. I assigned ownership of this property to your mother. So, in other words, I gave her virtually a gift from my heart. I didn't hesitate when the broker asked, "Oh, are you going to put it in tenants in common or joint tenants?"
Mm.
I said, "Oh, joint tenancy, of course." Well, that's 50-50 equal. In other words, but for tenants in common, it should have been, in terms of what the gifts of money, just in purely financial terms, it should have been something like me 70%. That's tenants in common. Me 70% and your mother 30%.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I said, oh no, tenants. Joint tenancy, of course. He said, oh good. Well, he said, oh good, because that was less trouble to him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd have had to go away and draw up a tenancy in common, which your mother and Bill was in no position to argue about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have been satisfied with that.
Yeah.
But so I virtually gave your mother, well, what was the property value? Well, today's property value, $500,000. So, but 500 there. So your mother's share today would be only, quote, say 200,000, and mine would be 300,000, so roughly. Then, I mean, this house was what, $85,000. I don't like these figures, money. It's so, it's not human. It's demonic.
Yeah.
Thinking in monetary terms, money. Well, that's why the ancients realised this. They invented money 1,000 years BC. Because it enabled them to do their trading in the Mediterranean. So they invented money. But the thing is, muneri, it's from the Latin word for share, oh God. Yeah, exchange. So it's a substitute. But today, people are using the substitute for the real thing.
Yeah.
So they're not even living true lives, they're living lives that are lies.
Yeah.
So it's not truth. But, well, of course, truth never really has ruled. But there have been people who were true people, who lived trying to be true to their God, and they were assassinated. Well, it's still being happened, and your mother's trying to assassinate me. Look, it's I don't know. Being able to do two things at once is pretty smart. I mean, having to concentrate and listen to me at the same time, and not just raving or rambling. But I can't live like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not being able to exercise my talents. I got nowhere to live, nowhere to work properly, really. I've had very radical successes. I started up a yoga school. I went for 22 years. Started up that in 59. I married. I maintained it right through the first marriage, when I got rid of Laura, through the 60s, and then I maintained it through the 70s. Right up until the time that I met your mother. Well, by that time, it had largely turned into shit because it had become commercialised, because people were, and of course the commercial people didn't like me, and I remember some of them, because but I had special advantages. I won't go into all the detail there, but I'd better get on with my conspiracies, because they're the only things that are working.
Okay.
Oh, I sent you an email.
Mhm.
They're, the money people are looking into whether they can introduce psychedelics
Okay.
as official treatments.
Yep.
Now, you got my email?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Well, we've got to maintain communication lines, Oscar.
Yeah.
Do you ever check your email?
Yeah.
You should have received my recent one.
Okay.
Have you not read it?
I haven't checked my email for about a week.
Oh, I sent it a few days ago.
Okay.
Well, we can't wait for the money people to decide that LSD or psychedelics. I don't think it's LSD that's in those fungi across the road. I think it's something else.
Yeah.
I think your mother and Wink and Freya have experimented just slightly.
Yeah.
Wink seems to be making a life for himself.
Mhm.
It hasn't done him that. I think he's experimented with it.
Yeah.
I think Freya has, but I haven't heard from her what she thinks the result, the effects were.
Mhm.
But Wink seems to be on the right track.
Yeah.
Although I don't know about looking into. Well, I mean, he's decided that Aussie girls aren't worth much
Yeah.
because they're too full of shit. And they probably are.
Yeah.
I mean, gracious me. What wife steals her husband's tools?
Mm. Mhm.
My own saying that every man's got to have a vice.
Mhm.
Well, it's a joke,
Oh, yeah.
but it's no coincidence that every vice I've set up has been ruined. The last one has been smashed. I smashed it myself, not on purpose, just because it was just too flimsy. I mean, they're made out of cast. Got to bang them too hard and they're smashed up. I mean, that's symbolic of my life. I've got workshops set up all over the place. Up there, down there. Every workshop I've ever had has been smashed, sabotaged.
Mhm.
That's just too symbolic.
Yeah.
I've got a few of these old chambers, old German English, old castles.
Mhm.
Oh, right. I've got a few German dictionaries, what they worth.
Yep.
Oh dear. Well, I'm not getting very far with you,
Mhm.
so I'd like you to see. You're only half listening to me. Well, I don't know whether... Is anything registered?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Keep increasingly in touch, Oscar.
Yeah.
Because we're running out of time fast.
Mhm.
In every way, every level.
Yeah.
You know how it happened.
Yeah. So you just.
Yeah, can you describe, please?
Yeah, just I think we put the other one in the cage.
Oh.
And then just set it out in the front yard.
Oh.
And then we
the other one, his mate.
Yeah.
I think she's the female.
Yeah.
Just got a.
And then.
And he came back to her.
Yeah, and just.
Well, he went into the cage again with her.
No, he just landed on the ground somewhere, and then I think Wink grabbed him.
Grabbed him. In other words,
Yeah.
You picked him up and you didn't try to fly away.
No.
I described it the way you did it, and if I described it in the way that you did it, reasonably accurately, you should have said yes.
Okay.
So that was a reasonable, accurate description. Is that right? Okay, you picked him up, you grabbed him.
Yeah.
Sorry. Because the thing is that they can both fly now, very well indeed, and they've kept in practice.
Yeah.
So they will tend still to come to us, but we don't really handle them enough on a daily basis. They aren't totally susceptible to handling.
Yeah.
So we've still got to be. I mean, we've got to handle them in the same way. That's what all people have said. You've got to handle them. That was Grandpa's method from experience, because he gave his old coffee to me. And he was in his 50s, cocky Woolcroft.
Yeah.
I had his body in a boiler pan, and your mother kept it for sentimental reasons, and your mother found it, and I think she buried his what's left of him. Well, I mean, what fucking right did she have to do that? It was interference, and I kept him for sentimental reasons. Coffee Walcott, Grandpa would have got him well, I remember I used to tease him, unfortunately. I was not age 9 in 1941. easy, unfortunately. But after a while, I mean, I think I could probably have patted him, but I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
Grandpa gave him to me because he couldn't accommodate him. But he was a good handler. He said, he couldn't handle Cocky Bullcock anyway because he never handled him like the wink can pick up one of these conures and they hold him upside down.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you should be able to handle them, and they will allow that, but provided they're accustomed to it. But he said, you got to treat them in the same way, so the creatures of habit.
Yep.
And you've got to, but if you get out of practice of that, well, it makes it difficult for you to retrain them again. You can retrain them again because Cocky Bullcock even got, initially he used to be quite savage toward me, but after a while I think I could probably have patted him, but I didn't trust him. I never tried to, but I mean, after a while of me caring for him, he was sort of reasonably friendly, so it was a bit sad when I had to, anyway, down at South Melbourne, I couldn't look after them properly, but it was a bit sad. The animals down there that I lost, I had nowhere to keep them. So I've had quite a bit of experience with animals training, and each animal is different. But there are certain same basic rules. You've got to treat them in the same way, because if you treat them in a different way, they respond differently. And you might worry them. So they react if they're worried and upset accordingly. It's the same as dogs, cats, any animals at all. Magpies make beautiful pets.
Yeah.
We've had a few magpies. They're great character animals. Female there. Very responsive.
Yeah.
The last one I had was taken by the bloody PCA. They've just euthanized it.
Yeah.
Their slaughter yard is down at Lonsdale, just a half a kilometre away from where I used to meet up with all these bloody fucking idiots who eventually blew themselves up. Alcohol. Alcohol. Every time. Alcohol, well, money. I mean, these are bloody idiots anyway. Here's a prize non-example for any of these other organisers. Don't do what Peter did. You could have had a wonderful thing going. I mean, even the local cops were giving him support by default. Support by default being, well, at the moment, the activities of that group do not represent any serious concerns for us. But that was support or recommendation by default. And Peter, whatever his name was, Peter does not represent any threats to the community at the moment. I mean, what a bloody fucking idiot. But he blew it. And I've got some of the documentation to prove how he blew it. But I couldn't put my hands on it at the moment because I'm living in chaos. Life doesn't help me much. So, but anything that you can do to back me up, and what I'm doing is contributing towards making a life for yourself positive.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to realise that.
Yeah.
Because your mother doesn't seem to trust me. She's abusive and contemptuous, but that's just egoism, alcoholic egoism, deluded egoism. She's an incurable schizophrenic by the looks of it. That's what I've known. That's what your mother is. I mean, I gotta work with that. We'll build drugs to compensate. I'm supportive of that, but she's not reciprocating. She's turned crazy now. I've got to do something about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing the right thing by your children. But the system is psychopathic. And I'm going to try to work my way through it. I've been able to work my way through all the other tables I've been in. But this one seems to be insoluble. There seems to be no way out or through. And times are getting very tight.
Yeah.
The noose is tightening. The people are revolting. And when I say they are revolting, I mean they are revolting. I don't too many supporters. I think I've lost a lot of friends. They're just going berserk. I think they suspect I'm an ATI agent or something insane. They're getting paranoid. They don't know who to trust.